Let's see what's good on the internet today. Okay, boring, boring. I already watched that. Whatever, whatever. Oh, Zach uploaded a new video. Let's see what that's about.
Shape.
Hmm. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Snoopers video. Bow. Okay, let's stop being stupid here. Anyways, today's video is going to be my first impressions on the Shape Knights. This is the new archetype that Zach is making for the Syndian Planetary Collection, which is set to release in a couple months, along with the other one, Shias. But the only cards that we do know are the Shape Knights, which is going to be the archetype. The last two planetary collections, the Palladium Barrow ones, those were the first ones, and they set the standard of what it's going to be. So one of those things is a new archetype, and we're getting exactly that. And I gotta say, guys, this might be one of the best archetypes we have ever seen in the history of the game. In fact, it might be the best archetype, which is amazing because most archetypes suck. Anyways, uh, the links to the Discord and Zach's YouTube channel are down below. And without further ado, let us begin. So I do want to preface, I did change up my scoring system just like a little bit. I decided to do 20 points and merge stats and abilities together because I feel like rating those two separately feels a bit unfair because you could have really weak stacks but a really great ability, and that usually can balance things out, or no ability but very relevant stats. So, stuff like that. And then I decided to add personal as, I don't know, I guess I got to be more opinionated over here. Just my thought on how much I'll enjoy the card, my interest in it, mostly. Anyhow, let us begin with the most bare bones card. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This is Shape Knight Lionel. Now, the art overall pretty basic because, it's just a bunch of lines stuck together. I do like the little ornaments put on with the details and stuff on the sword and the shield because that at least kind of makes it pop out a bit more, but overall very, very basic. Not really anything interesting. Stats and ability, though, although the stats are the weakest thing ever, 10-10, like the minimum that you can have on any creature, the ability is very good. When your turn begins, you can free play this killed creature. If you do, you can only play Syndian creatures for the rest of your turn. There can only be one zone Shape Knight Lionel. So, yes, there are a couple drawbacks to this. You are limited to Syndian creatures, and you can only have one on the turn. But this is essentially a infinite cycle as long as it stays in your discard, which is absolutely fantastic as it just keeps a creature on your board every turn that your opponent has to deal with. Sure, it's a 10 power 10 health card, but it's there. Uh, Although it can't do much. So you're probably wondering, why did I rate it an 8 out of 10? Well, it's because this is kind of the catalyst, kind of the core of this entire archetype, and this single card is is so very useful in terms of all the other cards that I'm about to show you. So this is a fantastic card. One thing I will say though, I almost want to say it's more of like a 7.5 or a 7. I might be being a little bit generous just because of how many outs there are to this. You could use something like Time Flash Portal to remove it. There's ways. There's like simpler removal options, but then there's also like worse things like Space Pit and Firebolt Anari, which allow you to send the card back into the deck, which basically renders it useless. So that's kind of unfortunate, and if this becomes meta relevant, then those cards will be seeing like 100 times more play. But I mean, it also keeps it kind of balanced if you think about it, which is helpful. But it is annoying for this card, definitely. And personally, I mean, like, it's a pretty interesting thing, but I don't know if I'm gonna have too much fun in it. I'm not like super interested. There's not much you can do with it besides what you can do with it. So I'm not like wowed at this, but I do realize that it's important when thinking about the rest of the cards. So, pretty good. And 14 out of 20, that's a really good score, by the way. And we're starting off with this 14 out of 20. It only gets better from here. Next, we got Shapeite Trongulon, and hoo boy, this is quite a doozy of a one. So the art, only a little better than Lionel. I don't prefer the color scheme. I don't know, greens just don't work with me. However, this is still quite a nice card. It uses triangles to its full advantage. I mean, pretty much everything is a triangle. Not everything, but you can kind of see that. Even the arms, very creative. And I like the spear too. Just gives a little more, and there's different ornaments and different markings. So overall, really great. Love the card art. And moving on, stats ability. What you'll realize from the rest of the creatures is that their power is based on how many stars. So this creature power is 30 times its stars. At base, it will have 90 power. Now that's not a ton, but its health is actually quite fantastic for a 3-star, as it allows it to kind of block out most relevant small creatures like Droplet Squaws, Thorngabork, and Wackuman and stuff. It can basically wall those out, which all those cards, when they're killed, they draw cards. So if you just put this down, they can't do anything, and you don't have to do anything, which can basically stall them out from getting extra card draws. The power can easily be increased due to other cards' effects, which we'll see in a moment. So technically speaking, this card could get 5-6 star stats if played in different ways. So absolutely fantastic. And the ability, it just boosts us up to near perfection. When this creature is cosplayed, you can kill 1 Galaxied 1 to 3 star Shaped Knight creature to add 1 Galaxied 4 to 6 star Shaped Knight creature to your hand. Now this is fantastic. I mean, because you can use Lionel, and then you could bring out both of the cards that can combo off of this, which is Hexator and also Scorn, which we'll see in a moment. Both of them are fantastic cards, so this is well worth using. Obviously, it's limited to Shape Knights, so that's just a thorn on this triangle side. But overall, fantastic. And personally, I'm so stoked to mess around with this. There's so many things that you could do with this without even using its ability. Just by manipulating its stars. It could be just a mess. I think it'll be fun. And we just keep holding on to that good cardness with Shape Knight Scorn. So the art, it just keeps getting better in my opinion. First of all, the colors are my personal, I love the colors. But I will say the angle is really nice. The whip, the kind of hammer whip, just looks really slick. Well, both hammers actually, technically. And I like the kind of angle that it's on, and the mouth, just holding on to that squareness. It's beautiful. Now the stats and ability. Health, 40. Yikes. That's not great. However, 40 times the stars does bring it up to a 160. Swings for 2. Not terrible for a 4-star, but the ability well makes up for it. Once per turn, you can kill 1 zone creature with stars equal to or lower than the combined stars of all zone Shape Knight creatures, then kill 1 zone-handed Shape Knight card. This is pretty good, because this is a removal option. And because it manipulates with stars, it can get pretty easy to work off of 8 or 9 combined stars if you have a Trongulon, and then you also have just other things to manipulate the stars. You can easily just kill whatever on the board with this. It's pretty easy to do that as long as you set it up. Obviously, it probably will take some time to get this kind of useful, as you have to get a good board full of stars to really be able to hit the stronger creatures, which is usually what you're trying to get rid of. I mean, you can also remove small creatures through this and cancel their abilities essentially. The one zone Shape Knight card should be carried by Lionel, or you can just use the Lionel in your hand so that you don't even have to pay 1 star to throw it out. You can just send it right there. It's a good easy way to remove stuff, which is something that this archetype, and honestly any archetype really needs. It really needs some type of good removal option, because usually it's about building up to this big boy archetype, this big boy card, 8 stars usually. Having something like this will make it more worthwhile to use, and personally I'm excited to use this. So fantastic card again. Next we got Shape Hexator, and the art, I gotta say I'm not a huge fan of the skin color. It just feels kind of awkward. Other than that, very cool. Just the sword, the claymore, just absolutely just smashes, man. I think the armor looks pretty clean, although I kind of wish that it would pop out more. It's kind of dark overall. I mean, it's not that terrible, but just saying. This gives it a nice extra bit of color, which is helpful because this is overall a little bland in color taste, but it's a great art card. Stats and ability though. This works with this is the Trongoglion. Oh my goodness, I butchered that. Yeah, so this is that pairing. So first of all, the stats, 240 is not terrible for a 6-star, and the 60 times the stars makes it a 360 240 at base. Let's keep that in mind. This is at base. It could easily become like a 8-9-star power card. It could easily get to 500 because it's at 6 stars. It could get easily to 500, I feel like. And the ability is fantastic. You could kill one of your zone Shape Knight cards to free play this handed creature. Now, of course, one of the minor gripes that you may have with this is that, well, I already used Trongyong's ability, which made me kill one of the Lionel, so what am I supposed to do? Obviously, not the most fantastic in terms of that regard of trying to combo, all in one turn, but sometimes you might be able to pull it off, and either way, you're still getting a very, very strong card. So overall, definitely the most basic out of all of the other cards, but I'm so interested to see how this card can be manipulated along with the others, especially comboed off of Tronglon. And then we got the big baby, Shape Knight Octorius. As you can see, it's a 19.5 out of 20, which means it's near perfect. The only thing is its art. So the art is fantastic. I like the background. Interesting swirl thing. And overall, this is cool. I like the use of perception, kind of pushing this forward, and you get these 4 different things. And it kind of does all the shapes up here, and there's so many cool things going on here. The only major gripe would be he said in his art video that it looked like a toy, and now I can't unsee that. So not a major gripe, but a minor gripe, but nonetheless. Overall, though, still fantastic art. And stats and ability, fantastic. So we got a 480, which currently is relevant because it blocks out most creatures' attacks. I mean, there's a couple with 500, but it blocks out a lot of relevant things like Serpent and Zemius and Scardians. So this is a very good card for an 8-star, and the power now it looks like this is 80 times the stars, but there is a drawback. After this creature is played, the stars become 1. This creatures gain 1 star for each of your killed Shape Knight creatures. Once per turn, gain stars equal to the creature stars. So the deal is that this is technically weak until you burn out a lot of your Shape Knight cards. So the deal is that it takes a lot of time to set up, but once you do, it's well worth it. And you can even manipulate this with things like Cloud Cells, so it could make it irrelevant. You could basically get 800 power by making it a 10-star, which is insane, by the way. This thing could get super powerful super quickly, with just the right combos. And even if it takes a while, it's well worth it at the end when you've battered and hit, like, all these other cards are solid enough that they can hold out until you get Octorius out, and then you can just finish the game with Octorius. Not to mention, even if you play this not at its fullest potential, 480 health is still able to wall out many things, and it basically forces removal, like other means other than like raw power, unless they have like a Cranchon or something. Personally, I'm super excited to use this. Overall, this archetype I'm super excited to use, but this is one of my favorite cards mechanically. Just, I don't know, so much interesting stuff. And oops, I guess we'll just move on. So we got Polygrand, and this is the permanent resource. And now, at first, most people in the Chaos Galaxy meme are like, oh no, not a permanent resource, because the deal is that permanent resources are severely weakened currently. There's ways to negate the effects, and there's ways to remove it easily. There's a lot of things to make it annoying, as well as it takes up a resource zone. But Polygrand, as you can see, Shape Knights. This can be killed for a Shape Knight ability like Hexator or Squirn or Shape. So this allows some more comboing. First of all, I should back up a bit. Art, lovely. I love this art. Just lots of stuff going on. I like the different people, and it kind of just builds the world. Like, this is the arena. This is where the people fight. And I like these different pillars. Just so cool. I love places. It just helps set the scene, and I love it. I love it. The ability is pretty good too. It's so, first of all, can be killed, but it has great buffs. When you play this card, add once killed 6-star or lower Shaped Knight creature to your hand. All zone Shaped Knight creatures gain 2 stars. So first of all, this regurgitates something. You could regurgitate a Lionel and then play it to just do another Shaped Knight effect if you'd like. Or you could bring out, a Scorn and something. Just it helps regurgitate, stall out maybe a bit more until Octorius. So this just buffs up stuff, and you can kill it and do some more comboing with it. So absolutely fantastic card. I feel like some of the best permanent resource cards are the ones that that either have one of the strongest abilities ever, or have the ability to get knocked out at some point. So this is really important. Anyhow, overall, this is an fantastic archetype, and I definitely see myself playing this. I definitely see other people playing this, and this being relevant, which is something that Syndion also desperately needs. Now, will it be played with Syndion? I mean, maybe. That's a contentious debate among the community. I'd personally say that's a hard maybe. If something becomes more relevant, if some planet, or if we start only using part of the archetype, then it probably will just shift over to a different planet. But if we use the whole archetype, I don't see why you wouldn't use Syndion. Syndion's ability is just not the best, but I wouldn't see why you wouldn't be using Syndion's ability. And there's plenty of cards too that we will definitely be seeing with this. There's ones already thought about, like Yengalion and Orpov, that will probably be used, and maybe some of the other cards that will be released in the Planetary Collection, because that's another thing. There will usually be a few more support cards for the planet. Hopefully those might be able to like speed up the process of this, or protect the cards more and use Syndion's ability to more of effect, and all that can come together to make Syndion an actually strong planet for once. Woo! Ooh, voice crack. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I guess consider subscribing. I guess I have to go on that trend to promote myself. I mean, if you do subscribe, that would be great, I guess. Anyways, all right, let's stop being awkward. Happiness is a warm puppy. See you later.